Yo, HerbnRodg in the booth, no fluke, they spitting truth. Crimson Tide pride, rolling heavy like an elephant's hoof. Mic check for the Bama intellect. This the podcast, y'all better show respect. From Brian Denny echoes to Saban's gold throne. Every episode's a touchdown, Alabama zone. Two voices in the game, no flags, no shame. They calling out the plays, giving players their fame. HerbnRodg, man, they break it all down. Crimson helmet shining, we the kings of the crown. Roll tide, every week they ride. HerbnRodg Podcast, where the truth resides. HerbnRodg.
Good evening. Roll Tide, everybody. HerbnRodg Podcast. I can't call them special guests. So the family is in the house tonight. Big Mike, Bama Beat. Rodg is dealing with some kids for a few minutes, and then he will be jumping right in here. Fun show tonight. If you weren't watching this summer, where were you? But we went over every team in the SEC except Bama. Mike picked the wild card, the Fighting Primes, and we picked all their win-loss records. And now we have to go back and see who was right and who was wrong. But first, let's say hello to the guests. Mike, how are you doing tonight, man?
Doing good, man. Dealing with some technical issues here, so I apologize if I sound a little funny at any point tonight. I promise I haven't been drinking. It's not a Saturday show, but
it's very fair. Very fair. Bama Beat, how are you doing? And I'd ask how your hair's doing, but it's fabulous as always. So how are you doing?
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm good, man. It's good to see you guys.
Always good to have you on here, man. So
every time I see Bama Beat on the show, I want to grow my hair out.
I mean, but I just can't match him, so I wear a hat, and I'm not even gonna do it. Like, you were already smarter than us, and then you had to throw out the hair just to show much better looking, and it's like, we don't stand a chance.
I used to wear a hat every show. It kind of happened by accident. So.
I feel like my ego and confidence, I'm gonna need you to start wearing a hat again at some point.
Maybe I'll go back to the hat next show.
I feel like he was out on the street one day with no hat on, and somebody went, "Ooh," and he goes, "Oh God, I think I like this look."
It's exactly what happened, actually.
I like it. Well, we've got some minor news. Well, not minor news. We've got some other news before we kind of get into the the crux of the show there. So, actually, you know what? Let's say hello to everybody real quick. Blueberry Pancake Day. What's up, Zach? Appreciate you. I don't know why do blueberry pancakes get their own day, and does everyone else? Is like, a chocolate pancake day? That's what I need to know.
Because blueberry pancakes are the best.
Are they? I'd rather have a chocolate one, but I won't hate on a blueberry. All right, Bam Beat, we have to have a tie-breaking vote then. Are we going blueberry or are we going chocolate?
Blueberry for me.
Oh. I'm losing already.
Does that mean I win the debate?
Yes.
Do I have a better debate record than Rodg?
Well, everyone has a better debate record than Rodg. I think in 2 years, Rodg has had. He does. Well, to be fair, when we have a vote on who people like more, Herb or Rodg is currently winning 87-13. So he's winning everywhere else. It's just these.
I feel like that number changes every time you do it too, which is funny.
No one's keeping track but me, so the number's just out there. What's up, Nick? Nick, I think, are you leaving tomorrow for the Senior Bowl, or was that the day after? I know you said you were leaving later and only covering the game. So, Sadie, I actually forgot. I guess I'm surprised you're on here, Sadie. I guess because your team's comfortably up by 10 with 2 minutes left. So. I don't know if we're still going to play the other video or you're going to send one recapping this game instead. So just let me know. See, there you go. Is there any truth to the rumor that you two are related?
He's got the blonde locks, but it's not bad company to be in.
Not at all. What's up, Randy? Hope you're having a good night. Randy had his show earlier tonight, starting at 5:55 Central Time. Telling us why Georgia's going to win it all next year. He'll probably say that's not what I said, but that's what the chat said. And they are favored to win the SEC, so they're not far off. So, and somebody's got to break up the Big Ten monopoly that they got going on right now. Alex, and I forgot to say this when Kat's on there. Kat and Alex and Nick Beasley, half of our memberships in the chat, and then 1/6 of our memberships is on the show with us too as well. So appreciate everybody jumping in and supporting us and being the first to do that. So we appreciate y'all. Love my chocolate chip pancakes. Roll Tide, Latoya. Always good to have you stopping by tomorrow. So, and yeah, he said checking out the game, sending in an instant reaction. Oh, what's up, Cotton? Good to see you, man. Cotton asked us the other day why we weren't going live, and I was like, they went live, so we can't go live when they go live. Nobody would watch. And then I said, I'm going to go live, and my live will just be watching Cotton live, and we'll just see how reactions to that. And so, he actually liked that idea. So, and what's up, Carol? Another one of our Bulldog faithful. Carol today told me I was her third favorite person. The only problem was there's only 3 people on that list. So I came in dead last. But, hey, I frame it like third favorite. So, see, Cotton, you're going to be shocked. One of these days, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be sitting at home. You're going to go live all of a sudden. I'm just going to go live checking out your live. So, all right, let me download this real quick since she's already here. And my date has been thrown off. Well, no, there's nothing to do while I'm doing this. Sorry, guys.
What's up, guys? So we had a big win on Saturday. I said it wasn't possible, and they proved me wrong. We went to Gainesville and won. First time in 30 years. We beat Florida by 9, which was so nice. Defense had the best game of their season. Yeah, we just put it all together. Best game since Archie. And even better because it was on the road and not at home. So, yeah, I'm super pumped about that. And now we play Texas tonight at home. It's a big game because we cannot have us go backwards. We've won 3 straight. And it'd be great if we could just keep it rolling. So since I'm doing this video now and we play during the podcast tonight, I may pop in and do an instant reaction video. Hopefully good reaction. Yeah. And Bama had a big win last night at home against Missouri. So yeah, it's going to be a great season. I know we're almost to February and it's been wild already in the SEC. So yeah, I'm excited to see what keeps happening. War Eagle.
And like she mentioned there, they're beating Texas. They're up 8 with about a minute left. So, yeah, I think this one is done. It was a tight game at half. I think Texas was up by 8, but I'm coming back. Alex brings up one of the other little points we're going to do before we got into our stuff. So, Bam, we'll start with you with the thoughts that Latham is coming back. How big is this? Are we overstating it, understating it? What were your thoughts when you heard this one?
I mean, I don't think it really moves the needle too much one way or the other for me. I mean, it's nice to have the depth. I think, Bama needs some depth at that bandit position, but, Latham's a guy who's solid. I don't think he really changes the game a whole lot. That's just my opinion.
What up, Rodg?
Hey.
How are you doing, sir? Rodg, the whole chat
tired.
basically said they weren't going to watch the show or comment until you got here. So thank you for jumping in.
I have a feeling you're lying. Sorry for my tardiness.
What if I was going to lie? I would tell you terrible stuff. So we just you just Sadie's video, but she's thinking about sending in another one. Here's the deal, though, and this is what everybody has to decide. If Sadie sends in another one, does she have to go down to her car and drive to send in the video if it's an instant reaction to this game?
She doesn't have to drive, at least in the car, though.
Yeah.
Okay. At least in the car. Okay. Also, Raj, do you like chocolate pancakes or blueberry pancakes?
Chocolate.
My dog.
Where's this coming from?
That's what you missed on the show. I'm just recapping.
Oh
everything.
My gosh.
Sadie had her video. She talked about us. We just talked about Layton coming back today. Go ahead,
okay.
Well, I was just going to say, it was the first video that I've seen from Sadie about Auburn basketball that really showed a lot of Esperanza for the rest of the season.
Nice, Mike. Just had to get that one in there. So,
I got to get it early, otherwise I'll forget.
Sadie, the people want what they want, though. I think we have to have a car video. Like Mike says, no driving, but you got to be like, the people want what they want. So, the last thing to cover, I guess, before we kind of get into maybe some grades and then going into what we had. So, Alabama hired new O-line coach, Adrian Clem. There were some very vituperative threads about that because I think people wanted bigger names and stuff like that, and people were upset. Bama, what was your reaction to the hire?
Yeah, I don't know much about him. He spent, a lot of time in the NFL and a lot of his career on the West Coast. So, I don't want to sound like I'm an expert on him or anything, but he seems to have a solid background. You've had some really good coaches that have hired him. A lot of the names people are throwing out, Sam Pittman, a lot of guys from this part of the country. I never really saw that being the choice just because, it's a different scheme than what a lot of the other teams in this area of the country run. So I figured DeBoer was going to go with somebody that he's comfortable with. And, I know Courtney Morgan has spent some time with him in the past. So, it seems kind of like a hire that I'd expect Kalen DeBoer to make. I think it's a change that needed to be made for better or for worse. We got to try something else at that position. So, O-line as a whole, I'm kind of in wait and see. I've been saying that for a few years now. It seems like we've progressed there with each passing season since 2020. So until I see, some results at that position, I'm just going to kind of assume it's the same old. But, I am excited that Alabama decided to make a change there because I think it was needed.
Yeah. And I think that was our thoughts as well. Rodg and I did a couple different videos on them, but it's basically if you're blowing up the entire line and trying to redo things, and you've got to start with some better leadership on it too as well, and recognizing that's the case. Rodg, do you want to recap your video about it? Any on this hire?
Yeah, until we started talking about it, until his name started floating around in Bama Nation for the past 1 or 2 weeks, I wasn't really familiar with him either. At the end of the day, I think the results, we're going to have to wait to see what the results are. If this offensive line can kind of build some chemistry along with the new coaching, I think we're in good hands. The ultimate question is, are we going to be able to develop a run game, come August or come September? If we can do that with a good balanced passing game, I think we'll be all right. But right now I'm up there. I'm not upset about it, but I'm not ecstatic about it. It's a new coach. I just need to familiarize myself with him more. Look at his background. He's good. He's got some experience in pro and college, but I'll have to wait to see until I see the results to I really, really get happy.
Yeah. What's up, Brian? Another one of the channel members. Appreciate you. I think that's 5 of 6. So appreciate all of y'all, of course, for joining. Still looking for our first super chat, so that'll be a fun one. But very happy to have y'all supporting us and be in the chat. Kat, that was kind of how my thoughts on it was. It hasn't been bad, and it's been going back. It's been going down. Like you said, it's been regressing every year. So can only go up from here. What's up, Jay Bake, man? Roll Tide. Hope you are doing well. I think somebody might be breaking in.
Oh,
Answer again, but
shout out to Way Offside.
We had lines that give up a lot of pressures and sacks. Yeah. And kind of honestly, y'all's research and then like Clint Lamb's research is what we've kind of gone off online a lot. So I can't say I really know anything about him. My only last point, I think, in the last video we did was he's coming from an analyst to this. So they must see or know something in him, that they liked for this. So that's the only thing.
I believe from what I've heard, that's health related. Is why
he was an analyst.
Yeah.
Okay.
And trying to get off the field for a while.
So we're kind of just thinking now is the time to return.
Supposedly he feels that he's ready to get back on the field and feels like his whatever health issues he had going on are not any longer. So.
Yep. Which, by the way, Mike, I think this is a party, but a Super Bowl party at their place.
I didn't know if I had to do homework to go to Sadie's house. That was the entrance fee. You have to write a paper based on the season or whatever. I don't know.
Which poor person do I have a dungeon and you give people? So first off, there's no such thing as giving people too much alcohol. I give people the right amount of alcohol. Now, if it does things to you after you have the right,
look at me in Mike's face. Okay. You're at Herb's house. You're sitting there like, hey, excuse me, I need to use the bathroom. Here's Herb. Open up the bathroom door. You want another shot? Like, what? No.
I let you get out of the bathroom first. But yes, you will have a shot waiting
Look,
for you.
All I know is the last time I went to Herb's house, as I was walking in the door, I was getting handed a shot.
Yeah.
That is true. I make no apologies for that, though. So,
in his defense, I said I had a rough day that day, so he was trying to help.
Gotcha.
He didn't turn it down, so he did quickly go grab some water and try to hide from me for a little bit, but he did grab some. And Lady Alpha, the last part, I don't know what the what is, but
evening, Lady Alpha.
Our last channel member. Appreciate you showing up tonight. Thank you. Okay, but I didn't give you too much on that one. I think I'm safe in this one. No one who's ever left my house and gotten a DUI. I'm batting 1,000.
Oh yeah.
All right. Sadie, do you really want me to tell the story about how Sadie greets me when she comes in? I open up the door. Sadie walks right by me every time and goes to everyone else. Hey, what's up, Brent? Hey, what's up? Sadie has never said hello to me when she comes to my house. It's very strange. Mike's laughing because he's seen it in action. He's like, oh, okay. It's very, very strange.
I'm afraid to say yes or no because I don't know if my paper gets any longer.
See, stay hydrated, just like it's our Saturday night show. Roll Tide.
Shout out to JT.
See, she just walks in.
All right.
Sadie, I actually have witnesses that have seen you do it. So I would show the deleted clumsy finger comment. It was your first comment. We were welcoming you in. I don't know. So all right, we're 8:20. Let's see. Bama Beat, let's do the way I like to do the grades with the positions I like, and then we'll skip the other ones. So this is what happens when you let the offensive coordinator run things instead of the defensive coordinator or the
special teams coordinator. Yeah.
Who's still negotiating? Rodg, have you negotiated your cost yet, or how much you're making?
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I'm not telling you. You're not getting any money.
You know what? I can't wait till we make our first membership video. All right, Rodg, you want to step away for a second?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah.
All right, let's start with the fun one, of course, the quarterback position.
Yeah, well, first of all, if we're only doing offense, it's going to be a depressing show. But
oh man, okay. How about this? Let's just do the offense as a whole, and we'll go to defense. Would that make it a better show?
I don't mind doing offense individually because I do think there's some position groups we need to talk about on this side of the ball. I mean, I'm fine with measuring defense as a whole because I feel like that's the healthier side of the ball right now. But quarterback, I'm kind of between grades here. I think, everything Ty dealt with at the end of the season. We know he had the back injury. He had no support in the running game. The offense just seemed to get in a funk as a whole. I didn't think Ryan Grubb was especially good over the second half of the season. I went with a B+, but if someone wanted to go A-, I'd perfectly fine with that because I think Ty played pretty well given everything that was on his shoulders. But now it's on to a new era. Whether it's Keelan Russell or Austin Mack, Ty's off to the NFL. So appreciate everything he did for Alabama. Everyone saw the big numbers he was offered to potentially enter the portal. So you got to appreciate a guy who, did it the right way and so showed some loyalty to his school. So pretty good. I don't think quarterback was the issue this year.
Mike, do you bump it up to the A-, or are you going to stick with this B+?
Oh, I definitely bump it up. As I was watching the film and breaking down all the highlights and everything like that throughout the season, you could definitely tell that Ty was dealing. I can't even finish it. I agree. We all knew Ty was banged up towards the end of the season, which affected him. Shame on the coaches for not maybe pulling him in some other games that may not have been as impactful. But yeah, B minus A or B plus A, somewhere around in there. I think it's fair.
Kat, we're gonna keep that question, so we will throw that one in at the end of the position group. So, and I think I did see everybody. JT, I hope you heard me say what's up. Roll Tide Nation in the house. We appreciate you. And I don't give people too much alcohol. I think we all agree. All right, running back. You guys can be on my side. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this position is kind of tough to grade because it goes hand in hand with the offensive line play. But at the same time, I didn't really feel like Alabama's backs took advantage of some of the limited opportunities they were given this year. I was at a C. I think they were just kind of average to below average. Daniel Hill did some nice things. I'm still not sure that he's a guy that can be an every down back for Alabama. I thought Jam Miller, had a disappointing season. I hate that for Jam because, he stuck around and it was his final year. And I think, I got the sense that maybe he was pressing a little bit at times to try to make the most of his last year. So,
Agreed.
Kevin Riley was banged up, but he showed some flashes. I'm really hoping EJ Crowell and, a 1 year older AK Deer can elevate that room a little bit next season. And again, the offensive line play, has got to be better for them to produce a little bit more. I just don't see a lot of dynamic, playmaking ability at that running back position that we've all grown used to over the years. So C may be a little hard. She could go C plus, I guess, but there just wasn't much production there.
Yeah. Rodg, are you with the C plus or is the C harsh? Oh wow!
I'm a C minus. I'm at a C minus, and I can see why people would give this a bad grade. But let's be honest, to Bama Beat's point, they didn't really have a lot of opportunity in the run game. I mean, obviously we had a few flashes here and there, but as the season progresses, feel like the running backs and their touches decreased. So it's kind of hard to sit here and develop any type of run game, regardless of blocking. When you have 2 or 3 backs who are getting a total touches of like 12 total. And they've got very, very limited yards. So with that being said, I just gave them a C minus. And again, to the Adrian Clem situation, I hope this improves in the 2026 season, or I kind of feel like our offense is going to look pretty similar to 2025.
Well, I guess since that goes hand in hand, let's go to the offensive line.
I was at a D minus.
Ooh.
Yeah, I last time we did this show, I had it a little higher than that because I felt like they had done a pretty good job to that point in the season of pass blocking, especially considering that Alabama had no run game and defenses were really putting the pressure on there. But just the lack of run game and some of the sacks that Alabama gave up late in the season, I think just really pushes that group down. I guess what's keeping them out of the F territory is the pass blocking, because the fact that they had no run game and didn't give up a million sacks is, decent. But this is the key position group, going forward. The run game, the O-line, developing some kind of physicality on the offensive side of the ball, I think is critical for Kalen DeBoer to be successful at Alabama, because I mean, if you cannot play physical football in this league, I mean, you're just not going to last, because eventually you're going to hit a season where you don't have that playmaking ability at quarterback, you don't have that passing game to rely on, and you're going to end up, 7-5, 6-6, and that's going to get you fired at Alabama. So, fixing the run game and fixing the O-line struggles is absolutely critical, and it starts, with this next season. And I think Ryan Grubb has a lot to do with that,
For
and
sure.
the plays he calls and the way he sequences his calls, I mean, I don't think it's all on the players. I don't think it's all on the O-line coach. I mean, everybody's got to work together to get better there. But, D, pretty disappointing group this season.
Yeah. By the way, I want to post all these, but there's a little running thread on the side about alcohol poisoning that, Rodg, you started this. I just want to blame you for the whole thing.
I never said the word poisoning regarding anything.
So just a lot of alcohol. So you claim no responsibility otherwise? Yes. I would definitely be the person to fix alcohol poisoning with some more whiskey, though.
Gotcha.
That's how it works. Mike or Rodg, do either one of y'all want to save that grade, or are we keeping it a D and moving on?
I mean, I would either go D or even a little bit lower. I mean, and again, it's not all on the line, which is crazy to say because we have a first round draft pick. We have one of the best centers in the country, and yet our offensive line as a whole, we can't give above a D. If that doesn't say a lot about, again, the coaching aspect of it and just the fact that they couldn't find a cohesive unit to put together. I know, Herb, you've said it a ton of times on the show.
That's a good point.
We were still swapping out pieces at the Auburn game, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just with that and everything else, I don't know that D is a bad enough grade at this point. I would almost go with Nick's F.
Yeah. Rodg,
I
on
think
board
that's
with
two,
that.
that's 2 years in a row that we've
Yeah.
been rotating O-line for the entire season.
And coming into the season, remember PFF graded us as having like one of the highest offensive
Yes.
best offensive lines in the country, and we were so hyped about that. We're just looking at the names and the future NFL talent on the roster. But then, to Mike's point, it's just like we were constantly rotating people out, and then there's the whole Jaden Roberts situation, and didn't know if he was healthy, not healthy, or was he just not practicing? Well, I had no idea. I still have no idea what was going on there. But we just couldn't. It just seemed like we couldn't develop any constant like chemistry because we just kept switching guys out, and that led to a lot of problems that just trickled down from there.
Not to mention Carroll over there on the right tackle that was a freshman All-American at the end of the season. I mean, the pieces were there. You just couldn't get them all in the right order, I guess.
Yeah.
From what I've been told, the issue with Roberts is assignments. I mean, they're just not confident that he can consistently, follow his assignments and do his job, play to play. I mean, he brings some great physicality to the lines. I think that's why they tried to play him, but I just don't think they could rely on him to follow his assignments.
Okay. It was definitely very, very frustrating to watch. So I think the show is on Wednesday and the chat is on Saturday. Very clearly right now. Y'all are cracking me up over there. Wide receiver.
So I was at a B minus. I felt like this group was okay. I think Jeremy Bernard getting banged up over the second half of the season hurt. Ryan Williams never really looked comfortable this year, but I was encouraged by how he played against Indiana. That he showed some flashes of the old Ryan. So I think
for sure,
you're looking forward to next year. You're going to be relying on him a whole lot.
Yeah.
Isaiah Horton was solid. Just a solid group. I think the drops, especially late in the year, really brought the grade down there because, I mean, when you're a passing offense and you can't run the ball, I mean, to be successful, you got to take advantage when your quarterback puts the ball on the money. And I feel like we dropped some catchable balls,
for sure,
especially late in the year. So, just a B there. I think they were okay.
Yeah. I think Ryan Williams had the more high-profile ones at times, but there is a lot of guys who, like Ryan Williams would drop a major one, and then we see two other drops. We just kind of ignored them at times.
Yeah,
but, even Jeremy Bernard said it when he'd had that great catch against Oklahoma. That was to make up for a drop he had earlier in the game where the ball just went through his hand. So,
well, there's one that I think, like you said, Ryan Williams had the high-profile drops, but like even Isaiah Horton, first offensive drive against Georgia in the SEC championship game, you're at 3rd and long. He runs a little kind of a corner route. Alabama had the ball at like the Georgia 45-yard line, I believe. Ty Simpson throws an absolute dime, would have been a first down, and Horton hits his hands and he drops it. I mean, that's, if he catches that and Alabama's able to score there, I mean, who knows how the game goes. So it's just plays like that, nobody remembers that, sway games one way or the other. So,
yeah. And that's why I say Ryan Williams more high profile, not necessarily the times he did it, but we can almost remember every single one of his. And it's like everyone has forgotten. And I'm guilty of it at times too, but we've forgotten all the other drops that came up the rest of this year. So, Mike or Rodg, either one of y'all want to jump on this one or next group?
I gave him a B. I like what I saw from a lot of the receivers throughout the year, but one thing that personally I was just upset about was the lack of deep ball that we had. I mean, I think it kind of started around the Georgia game, with that big deep ball to Ryan Williams that we dropped that one. And just throughout the season, it just never really quite developed. There were flashes, and I think there were several times when the receivers were open, but it seems like they were either overthrown, or underthrown. The drops that the Bama Beat you already mentioned. But we've got the receivers and we've got the talent, but it's just upsetting to know that we just can't put up the numbers sometimes because of some of the things that I just mentioned. So I just stayed with the B regarding the receiver position.
Yeah. I think it was fair. Kat, I might try to look it up while we're doing this. So a group that it seems like, is it even a group or is it just one person? How about tight ends?
Yeah, I'd probably be in kind of the same spot, maybe like a B or something. I think, Cuevas was pretty solid all year. He made some clutch catches. Wish he would have been a little bit more healthy to end the season. But as a group, I don't really feel like you got a whole lot there. You got some good young players there. Marshall Pritchett, I think, is going to be a good player. But, just not a ton of production there. I think Cuevas kind of elevates a group that was otherwise pretty average. I think we also struggled to block at that position. I mean, we had big time blocking issues there.
Yeah. And that's part of the game that I'll always miss is looking at that. But I feel like this group was kind of like an A for Cuevas and then like a C for everybody else. And that's where you kind of get to. So,
right.
I know that's your favorite, Rodg, is Cuevas. So.
Quavo, that's my guy.
Well, yep. All right, we'll give the defense as a whole, only because I started this a little late. So, and yeah, Alex, they were. Roger, you trying to look it up at the same time also?
Dude, I was trying to, but I couldn't get to the right site. So I came back to this one because I didn't want to miss too much from the chat, but I'm still trying to Google to figure out what the answer is.
It says our drop rate was 6.3% of targeted passes.
Okay.
That's wild. I don't know. What do we have for the defense?
Yeah, so I guess if I kind of summarize my grades here, it's probably like a B plus on defense. Yeah, I thought Alabama was really good on defense at times this year. I think there were times where the offense was giving you absolutely nothing, and the defense kind of kept you in the game, kept it respectable. I do think one area Alabama's got to improve in is just run defense. I think it was better this year than it was last year, but against some of the more physical teams, some of the better teams, I felt like we really just got leaned on. I think Indiana, for all the attention Mendoza gets, they had most of their success just, pounding Alabama up the middle in the heart of your defense for 5 or 6 yards a carry. I don't know what they ended up averaging. It might have been higher than that, but that allowed Mendoza to just play off his run game and, really be comfortable the entire game. I thought Georgia did, some of that to a lesser extent, just really grinded Alabama down. So that was the question when Kane Womack was hired and when we went to this defense scheme is could we consistently defend the run? I thought we were better this year than we were last year. Let's take another step next year and some of these bigger games where we got to be physical, we just got to be a little bit more stout up front and not lose contain. I thought our DBs, our corners especially, really hurt us in the run game in a few games. So that'd be the one thing I would note as a need for improvement going into next season.
Mike, you were the defensive defender for most of the year. Do you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I mean, I would go, A minus
here.
Yeah, I would go A minus around there. I
same here.
I think obviously, same thing that Bama Beat said. They carried the team for the most of the year. And really the A could stand for adjustments would be the best thing because it seems like a lot of those big runs were very early in the game. And then the longer the game went, the better the defense got every game. So I think Kane and his staff made a lot more adjustments than the offense did, especially. So late in the game, late in the season, everything like that, they kept improving. So I would definitely go with an A on it.
Yeah.
It's just not quite good enough for an A in my opinion, but that's okay.
Fair.
Yeah. Well, I think we all agree that it was definitely carrying the team at times, and we weren't getting enough from the offense? I see you smiling, Rodg. What just happened?
No, I was gonna say A-. I kind of feel like the defense kept us in a lot of these games. It actually won us the majority of the games that we had, season, especially
Agreed,
midway
Alex.
on through on. Obviously, it was upsetting to see what Indiana did. And to Bama Beat's point, I do hope that a run defense kind of make some adjustments, actually some serious adjustments going into next season, because we're going to face some really, really tough run games next year. But overall, I feel like that we were in the playoff because of the defense. And part of that is because the offense couldn't get the ball rolling in several of these games, and we just couldn't get things clicking on the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, I'll stick with the A-, and I'm comfortable with that.
I'm determined to find this drop passes thing at the same time. It's so sad.
I Googled it. It's not giving me the exact number, so.
Agreed.
But I'm pretty sure somebody has it out there.
All right, we will give her due, and then we will go into the main part of this show, see how right and wrong everybody was. So you guys get 2 doses of Sadie tonight. Everybody be happy.
What's up, everybody? Instant reaction here. I'm gonna be on my couch. I'm not going to the car.
Oh, wow.
Work. But we beat Texas.
Lazy.
War Eagle. Ugly start. Beautiful finish. That's all that matters. Yeah, we struggled to start the game. Offense, defense, all the shit. It was like we just weren't clicking. And then the second half, Stephen, probably chewed him out at the halftime. And it was like, look here, guys, we're at home. Get it together. And they did. And we clicked and we won, and that's all that matters. And then we go to Tennessee on Saturday. That's going to be tough. But 4 straight, super excited, rolling towards first in the SEC. So let's go. War Eagle.
Is that because no,
not in the car. What was that? Was she sitting there watching Gilmore Girls or something?
Are we sure that was even Sadie? Or was that an imposter?
We don't actually know. And yeah, Alex, I read that one, the 6.3. I wanted to get the exact numbers. And it keeps telling us Ryan Williams had the most with 13, which is sad because 13 seems low. And I hate to say that for the way the season went. So, yeah, see, I love this overwhelmingly. Everybody's like, so there's 2 things going on in the chat tonight. Herb drinks a lot. It gives people a lot of alcohol. And Sadie, if you're not in the car, it doesn't count. So, all right, let's move on to the main topic here. Let's see how good we did from last year. So I went back and watched the video today. So I got all the notes. I could put the team up on the schedule or we could just talk about it. But Mike, I guess you'll choose because you're going first. We're going to get the non-SEC team out of the way. And for those just turning in, over the summer, each of us had 4 teams. We didn't do Alabama. So Mike had the wild card team. He had picked Colorado the year before. He got Colorado again this year. We predicted their record. And now we're going back to see how many wins and how many losses that we had. So, Mike, do you want the schedule up on the screen, or do you just want to go with it?
I'd rather not because it'll probably make me feel worse. I didn't know if I had to give myself a grade. I'd probably give myself an F, I'm sure. But I say we just talk about it.
All right. Do you you said 35 drop pass by the wideouts and Ryan Williams had throwables. Yeah, but that's still a lot by the whole team. So, see. Sadie, that's what that everybody wants.
Yeah.
So Colorado went 3-9 this past year, Mike. Do you know where you had them at?
I know I didn't have them very well. I don't think I had them as bad as 3-9, but I didn't have them doing very well.
Yeah, 7-5 or 6-6 is where you were. Now you correctly called that there would still be a quarterback battle going into the season, and most thought that somebody had already won the job before it went. But the Fighting Primes did not back you up at all, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yes, and Big Mike will be picking another team next year to go with.
Are you jumping off the Colorado bandwagon altogether?
No, I still love Prime. I will still follow them, but I'm going to pick a different team.
I already know who's picking.
That makes one of us. I have no idea.
TJ Finley and Incarnate Word.
Does Incarnate Word actually have a whole schedule?
I have no idea.
I'll have to do some film breakdown.
Oh, I love it. Let's go next to Bama Beat. Tennessee was on your radar. And you're looking down at notes, so you know what you gave them for
Yeah. I think I was right on the money with this one.
You were right on the money. You started at 7-5 or 8-4. I mentioned that their win total was 8.5. You said I would definitely take the under, and settled in kind of 8-4 at the end. And Tennessee went 8-4. So you want to pat yourself on the
Pretty
back
accurate.
here. You want to
Pretty
the
accurate.
first win, pretty accurate, Raj.
Yeah.
I've got one or two others though that were bad, so don't get too excited. But yeah, I mean Tennessee was exactly what I thought they would be. I mean I think they were a dangerous team, but not consistent. They didn't really beat anybody that was good. I think they struggled on the offensive line for a lot of the year. With 4 new starters, so I mean, kind of exactly what I expected Tennessee to be. So.
Fair enough. Rodg, your first team was Arkansas. You had them at 6-6 or 5-7.
Okay, and they were
2-10.
I was a little off.
I'm not.
Did anybody really expect 2-10 though? Come on.
I thought they'd muster up a couple. I didn't think when you made the pick it was going to be that bad, but
Oh.
And you got the coach fired, Raj.
Yeah, that was on me, huh? My fault. Yeah.
Sorry, man. Kat,
well.
I'm gonna save that question, but we'll talk about the very end because that actually plays into. I think we talked about it a little on Saturday, but a question that Sadie actually posed to me last time she was here. My first team was Kentucky. I kind of cheated on this one. I don't know how I got away with this. I gave 3-9, and then we started going through the schedule, and I was like, they'll either be like 3-9. I could talk myself into 4-8, or maybe 5-7, and then they went 5-7. So I can't give myself points for that one because
your initial pick was 3-9. So let's just roll with that. You were wrong.
Randy's bold pick when I was doing this was Kentucky would win 5 games, so he nailed it.
Okay.
So somebody was right, but I don't know how I got away. And so it's funny because I'm watching the transcript and I wasn't looking at who did this. And so I see somebody go 3-9, 4-8, 5-7. I'm like, who did that? Why did we let them get away with this? So I had to go back and look. I was, it was me. Oh, that was my team. So yeah, bad Herb. I apologize. All right, that's the first 4. So what we got? One perfect in there. Bama Beat. Are you the only one that's doing well so far?
I think so.
One for you. Auburn was your next team. Auburn went 5-7. Mike picked 5-7. He was.
Kudos, Mike.
See, there you go, Mike. Pat yourself on the back. So you had a period where you thought maybe 6-6. You were trying to talk yourself into it, but you settled back at 5-7, Mike.
Did I say Freeze was going to get fired too?
No, I don't think you said Freeze get fired.
Or half the team would leave.
Yeah. So good job, Mike. See, I try to give you a victory lap. You say more when you've lost than when you win. You're like, yay.
Well, I was tired from the celebration, so I wore myself out.
So. Well, this one will be back down to earth. Bama Beat, your next team was Vandy.
Yeah, this one's terrible.
Who went 10-2. You did say this. Their win total was 4.5. You said they'll go past that, so they'd be good there. But you did predict a repeat of last year, I guess, with 6-6 or 5-7.
Yeah, I was just really off on how I thought the season would go for Vandy. I really thought, with kind of the scheme they run offensively, it's kind of different. It's kind of a niche offense. I thought, SEC defensive coordinators would get that and really make some good adjustments this season. I thought Pavia would come back down to earth, but that really wasn't the case at all. I mean, they just built on what they did.
He did come down to earth and lost. He lost like 3 inches when he came back down to earth.
Yeah, a lot shorter.
That is true.
It's been rough for him.
I must have measured him with cleats and helmet on, but
and not just a regular helmet, that little protective helmet.
Right. Yeah, so I'm going to try not to get Vandy next year because I just don't know what to think of this program under Clark Lee. Like, I don't know if it's, Pavia or Jerry Keel. Like, as long as Jerry Keel is there, are they going to be this good? Is it Clark Lee? I don't know who's responsible, but, I mean, what a great year for Vandy. Vastly exceeded the low expectations I had for them. So, I mean, it's really a shame. They go 10-2 in the ACC and they don't make the playoff. So.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's they should be voting for the expansion because that would have happened, dude. So I did not, Cat. So I'll have to go check it out. I guess football was keeping them young. Sorry, Jay Baker, I had to say it too. So, Rodg, here's a victory for you. Up next, Mizzou.
Why are you saying it like that? Here's a victory for you. Like that never happens.
Well, because you had a bad one before, and I want to give everybody their kudos, man. I love it.
All right, go ahead.
Look, if all you guys could nail all your picks and I went 0-4, this would be a great show. I'd love it. You guys would be except we can't have Mike go 4-0 because he won't say anything when he wins. So Mike has to go 0-4 so we can get more out of him. It's weird, but that's fine. Rodg, you were trying to talk yourself into 9-3 from the Zoo. You went back to 8-4, which they went 8-4, and the only loss you actually had here was you had them, I think, losing to LSU. You picked all their losses. I think you had them losing to South Carolina and actually beat South Carolina and lost to. Did I have LSU? I think on there. So otherwise, Rodg, you pretty much had your pulse on Mizzou start to finish.
Okay. Excited about that. Oh, it feels pretty good to actually do something right.
You know what? We're just gonna have Bama Beat talk about everybody else's. And look, if you guys get it right, I'm just gonna ask Bama Beat what he thinks about y'all.
we're just so surprised when we get one right. It's like, oh,
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm curious to see how Missouri does next year. They got, I think, Ahmed Hardy coming back, and quarterback situation. I believe it was a transfer, but the name's not coming to my head right now. For Missouri.
Pribula.
Is it Britt?
Oh, Pribula, the guy that was back. Yeah.
What
I thought it
position?
was
third string? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I thought it was somebody else coming in, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Oh, coming in this next season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pribula left.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, Pribula's
they
gone.
went to.
I thought you were talking about last season. I have no idea.
Oh, no, my bad. I meant for the 2026 season, I think they have another QB coming in. But with Ahmed Hardy, I mean, they could have another good year next year too. No trash talking right now. It's been a long day, so I'm good.
When you win, you let your game do the talking. That's all.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is that what it is? Okay. Well, we're gonna fly past this. I had Mississippi State. I had them at 6-6. They went 5-7. The only good thing I did was I said they would get over their 3.5 win mark. So I was a game off on them. Let's get back to the real people. Mike, now you'll have a lot to say. You had South Carolina. You thought with Laura Sellers and Dylan Stewart, and said they'd have a good season, and you had them at 8-4. Now you had the numbers right. Just reverse.
Yeah.
At 4-8.
Yeah. Sometimes I have a little bit of dyslexia. Maybe that's what happened there. Definitely disappointed in how obviously they were too with everything that went on. But I mean, you expected with Sellers coming back with the season he had.
Oh, for sure.
For them to at least step up and do a little bit more. But the fact that they went back into a shell so bad that it was just, I mean, it's really hard to figure out what the hell's going on with them.
Yeah. And this is, and Cat's adding them up. That was one that everyone was wrong on. I think a lot of us had thought the trip to South Carolina, and it was tough, but for all the wrong reasons, but this is one of those. Cat's asking the question. We're going to throw it at the end. But no, I'm gonna save that comment till the end. I'll save that comment till the end. Let's hurry up and get through the rest of these. All right, where we got? Bama Beat. No, Mike has South Carolina. We go Bama Beat and LSU. Had them at 9-3. And when we go backwards, I guess because I skipped myself on one. I had Oklahoma at 9-3, and they went 10-2. I mentioned LSU and Oklahoma being a possible play-in game for the playoff. And Bama Beat, you doubled down on that when you had LSU at 9-3. And then the wheels kind of fell off to get them at 7-5 instead.
Yeah, I guess I just had too much faith in the talent that LSU had on their roster. I mean, I thought I didn't quite believe in the preseason hype. A lot of preseason polls had them in the top 10, but I thought that talent would at least keep them in the upper quarter of the league, and it just didn't. We all know what happened down there. It kind of unraveled. So, not much else to say there.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people were in the same boat as you. We thought they'd be much better. You even mentioned Nuss is solid, and he was a Heisman pick at the beginning, and then everything just kind of fell apart. So, And like I said, I had Oklahoma. I had them at 9-3. They went 10-2, so I was off there. But I did say again on their win total was 6.5. I thought they would blow past that one. So maybe if I should pick some win totals, I'd be better at this. Rodg, you're next to last one. You had TAMU. You had them at 8-4, losing to Notre Dame, LSU. I think this is Missouri and Texas. They went out.
I had them losing to LSU.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nothing. Move on. Good.
What was their final record again? What was their final record? Because they made the playoff. 11-1, right?
11-1. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little off. I didn't expect that. I honestly did not expect them to lose in Miami at home in the playoff. I thought they were going to make a nice little run in the playoff, but I was a little off there. Seemed like the steam for Marcel Reed just kind of gave up towards the end of the season. But I always admired their offense this past season. Really, really fast offense. Concepcion was good there. I like what they're doing. I like what Mike Evil's got going on in College Station. I think they'll be all right next year. But if I have to pick them next year, I'll make sure not to pick 8-4. So I'll make some adjustments there.
All right. Last one for everybody. Mike, you've given up on Colorado. Are you ready to give up on Florida too? Or is next year going to be redemption? Because you started at 5-7. You had a wide range to start with for Florida. You went anywhere from 5-7 to 8-4. You settled on 8-4 because that's what they had gone, I think, the year before. And again, when you pick 8-4, you should just reverse the numbers and just throw it out there because Florida went 4-8. Are we ready to give up on Florida, Mike?
I'm definitely ready to give up on Florida. I will not be picking them. Although with a new coach, you never know. Maybe by the time we get to the beginning of next season and we're talking about Coach Summerall and what he's got built in the whatever quarterback they've got that's going to be a Heisman candidate because it's Florida and they're going to talk about it. Maybe I'll get enticed to pick them again, kind of like one of those things where you want to buy that timeshare, but it's going to go bad or something like that.
Where's the money?
I will not be trying to sell you any timeshares, Mike, but we will give you first pick so you can avoid Florida if you want to.
Or if I'm at Herb's house with a lot of alcohol, so you never know.
Mike said, "I got Florida 4 times. How'd that happen?" So, this was my biggest win. I had Texas. I picked them at 9-3. They went 9-3. I don't think I foresaw the Florida game, but the Ohio State, to me, it's cheating. Ohio State and Georgia was 2 easy ones. So I was just trying to figure out where the third one was coming from. But 9-3 missed the playoffs, and that's exactly where Texas ended up at. So,
quick question, Herb. Does Texas make the playoffs next year?
I have to look at the whole schedule. I got to wait for that thing. I'm going to say no just because something's going to fall. Then I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say they go 9-3 again and miss the playoffs again, and Sark gets fired.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. The man's lost his job and he ain't made it to summer yet. Rod, you had Ole Miss at 8-4.
Oh, yeah.
Losing to LSU, Georgia, Florida, and Oklahoma.
And they had them losing to Florida?
Yeah. And this was a funny one. I think either Cotton or Jeff had said this, that Lane Kiffin will win a title at Ole Miss. And so as wrong as the 8-4 to 11-1 might have been, someone was wronger.
I was off.
Don't worry, Rodg. I was also enticed by thinking that Lagway was going to go a long way with Florida.
And that was
to get one last one in.
Rodg counted all the Lagway jokes while he was on the Florida section. So
I think Ole Miss kind of experienced a real interesting situation when Austin Simmons got hurt. I thought that was going to be it for it, but I didn't know how good Trinidad Chambers was going to be. So
that was the best part of the Ole Miss breakdown was how long we spent talking about Simmons. And then
he was good. He was good coming into the season, and again, once he got injured, I thought Ole Miss was going to lose a lot of games, but Trinidad Chambers turned out to be a phenomenal player and really, really increased his draft stock with the way he played in the playoffs as well. So really, really like him. He's got some good speed, he's very accurate, good arm strength. So really, really good quarterback. I think he's going to succeed in the NFL too when he goes.
That's your question for you, Rodg.
Have the giant show pegged for Ole Miss. And I did not. Nobody did. I did not see that coming. shout out to Pete Golding for letting them win or allowing them to win some playoff games. With that being said, I've already said this before. I don't think Lane is going to win a natty at LSU. He'll be there for about 4 years, and then he'll move on to his next venture. Maybe he'll buy a timeshare. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And win with Bama Beat. You had Georgia. You had the best 4 teams, like, by far. I think if your 4 teams were playing our 4 teams, you're whooping us. You had Georgia at 10-2, and Randy had posted on the same thing. He thought they were going to go 10-2, so I think it was a fair assessment. Very easily could have gone 10-2, but they lost to Alabama, and they pull out every other game and got better as the season went along. So I think you even mentioned in there, I think something we all agreed with, like, Kirby Smart being the best coach, clearly in the SEC, maybe not all football. And, they end up with a great year still.
Yeah, I mean, another great coaching job by Kirby. I didn't think this was one of his better teams, but they got better as the year went along. I think the schedule may have been favorable, more so than it was last year, which allows them to go to 11-1. But I mean, it's hard to doubt Kirby Smart at this point. I mean, he's kind of like Saban light. His teams are going to be physical. They're going to be disciplined. I mean, they're more often than not they're going to deliver. So, not exactly a Nostradamus level prediction there, but
Yeah.
And yes, to Kat and to Carol, yes, he's about to find out.
Yeah.
So there's last time Sadie was here, and we talked about this briefly on Saturday night. So I'll give Bama Beat and Big Mike a shot at it instead. She asked me how many SEC coaches are on the hot seat going into next year.
Ooh.
And so, yeah. Of course we said, and so this comes up to this. Heupel. That was one I'd kind of forgotten and put in there. But the other one, so she mentioned Beamer, and I was like, didn't Beamer get fired this year? That's how bad I thought the year
I'm
had
surprised
gone.
he did. I'm surprised he did. Yeah.
I thought Beamer was already fired when she said, she's like, no, he's still there. I was like, are you sure? I was dumbfounded at that one. So I think we settled at Beamer. Heupel. I said DeBoer is always going to be on the hot seat because he's a Bama coach. Like it's
exactly. He was on the hot seat the minute he took the job, and that's not trying to be funny or anything, but that's just how it is in Tuscaloosa. So yeah,
you're right. Right. So, and then I think was this for Texas, Cat. But that's what I said. I said Sark. If he doesn't make it, he's on there too. So, Bambi, do you have any comments on the hot seat coaches? Anyone you think we missed, or do you think somebody in there has been included and shouldn't be?
Yeah, I'm blanking on the Mississippi State coach. I think there's a lot of pressure on him this next year.
Is that Levy? Is that who?
Yeah,
Levy.
Yep, Jeff Levy. Yeah.
Jeff Levy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's done some good things there. They were at least competitive this year, but the fact that they couldn't pull out any of those close games, I think a lot of State fans aren't happy with him. On Heupel, I'll just.
Wait, can I say real quick, because they went
ahead.
5-7, I think if Mississippi State, if you get to 6-6 or even 7-5, then you're probably okay.
Yeah,
But
I don't
going
think
to
his
that
seat's
extra-
like on fire or anything, but I do
Mhm.
think there's some pressure on him to win some games this next
agree with
season. I will say, Tennessee fans, be careful what you wish for. I mean, I didn't think it was a good year for Tennessee, but you're only a year removed from a playoff berth. And have Tennessee fans forgotten how bad it was prior to Heupel getting there? I mean, you went through years and years of bad coaches and just absolute disasters. So I know Heupel's not lighting the world on fire, but to me it would, unless they just have a terrible season this next year, it would be foolish to fire him. And I do think there's a lot of pressure on Sark at Texas. I think it'd have to be a disaster for them to fire him, but I mean, they're going all in. They add Cam Coleman, Arch Manning's coming back, Smothers. I mean, they're spending money because the boosters over there are growing impatient. So I think you nailed it as far as the coaches plus Levy.
Yeah. I think why I push back on Heupel a little and think he is closer is because it feels like they've plateaued with this offensive system and where he's at. And I think if Vandy has another good season and then beats them again, that's just going to make it worse, So I think if you're Tennessee, like, are you okay with being like 8-4, 9-3, and waiting for the expansion of the playoffs? Or, I guess I just wonder what do you want as a Tennessee fan? And I've talked to a couple, and they've all been like, "No, I don't think he should get fired. But if he got fired, I wouldn't fight it either." You know what I mean? That seems to be the general consensus. So that's where I land on him. So, Mike or Rodg, do either one of y'all want to jump in on the coaches part of it?
I will, because I actually have one that may sound surprising, just because he's a new coach, and I'll say there's going to be a lot of pressure on Pete Golding. Because if it goes into the tank for Ole Miss after being in the playoffs and everything, and being a very last second coach hire after Kiffin left the way they did, I don't know that they're convinced that he's going to be that coach anyway. So if it really falls off the rails, I think he could very easily be gone after 1 year.
I like it. Good pick.
Yeah.
Good pick. Rod, you good with the group then?
Yeah, I'm good. I honestly, I'm with Bama Beat regarding Heupel. I don't think he's on the hot seat. They went to the playoff, not this last season, but back in 2024. I think if order for them to get on the hot seat, they'd have to have like a losing record this upcoming season. I don't think that's going to happen. Same with Sark. You're going to have Arch in year 2. He's going to be developed. Obviously, he got much better as the season progressed. You got Cam Coleman. You got Ryan Wingo, Smothers. Your defense is supposed to be better next year. Texas pretty much has to make the playoffs, or else they're going to start scratching their head there. Because I'm obviously, Arch is going to be another preseason Heisman favorite and Mr. All Football and everything like he was in 2025. And he's probably going to be gone next year, to the draft. So I don't know who the next quarterback's going to be. So Sark, they got to make the playoffs. If that doesn't happen, then you try to figure out what the next step is.
I agree. And I think that's the biggest thing, as much money as they're spending.
Yeah.
So, Alex, bring your question to Saturday night. I think we'll spend a little bit longer on that one, if you don't mind.
It's a good question.
Bring that. Yep. Text all in. Yeah, and that's what I think, Randy. But I think they're thinking we're throwing the money at it, and now it better change. So we'll have to see. I think that's it. Yeah, and I think that's what it. So. I didn't even think about Drinkowitz at Mizzou. So
I feel like if he maintains the same type of record they had as what past 2 seasons, then he's okay until things just get really, really sloppy there. So I think Drink is okay for next year.
They also just re-upped him because of some of the interest that he was getting from other schools. I will say on Kalen DeBoer, that's one thing that I think factors into all this is, prior to the Indiana game, there was a lot of talk about him getting an extension. Nothing's been announced on that. So was that signed behind the scenes? Was it not? Depending on how this next season goes, I'm certainly still in the camp of let's give him some time. But, whether that extension was signed and the buyout was renegotiated, depending on how this upcoming season goes, that's going to factor into any decisions that are made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy, this was on Texas, but were you saying because they did all offense or because of the toughness factor? And maybe that'll be a question we'll get to later. So sorry if I missed a bunch at the end there. The renewal. This was for Drinkowitz. So, and I said, I just totally forgot because I don't know what kind of pressure Mizzou's under, but the rest of the league is kind of moving forward, and you get to – and it just feels like he missed his chance. But I said that about Ole Miss, and then they made the playoffs the next year. So
do you see Kat?
You're going to have to
comment.
Yes, I didn't even Herb. Okay.
Bama Beat does look like Bray Hubbard. I didn't even think about that.
Does Bama Beat look like Bray Hubbard? Or does Bray Hubbard look like Bama Beat?
I think Bray Hubbard looks like Bama Beat.
There you go.
There you go.
We knew him first, so.
If I could play football with you guys, or if I could play football like Bray Hubbard, I don't know that I'd be on the show with you guys.
Probably not.
But as much as I love
you. Yeah. No, that's because the compliance office comes down hard on you. So, and I don't know if Nick is still here. Nick, you asked this question a long time ago. Are we excited for the Rumble this weekend? Yes, we are. Mike, you want to tell us what you got for the next couple? First off, thank y'all for doing this. I love the recap show. I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to do the recap next time, so I'm not doing like 90% of the talking. And you guys are like, "Great, Herb."
Man,
so maybe we'll do. I know, Rodg. It was killing you. What?
Well, so much for the HerbnRodg Podcast, but
so, hey, Rodg, that's why I love you.
I'm over here playing solitaire. Go ahead.
Do you still do that? You still play solitaire?
No, but no, I was joking.
Mike, tell us what's going on leading up to the Rumble for you, and a second on why we should be excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, huge shows for us over at the Running Wrestling Podcast.
Yes.
We've got our Royal Rumble Fantasy Draft tomorrow night. Six people, me, Sped, EC, and you've got Michael from Kicking At It 2, Lady Alpha from the Wrestling Divas Podcast, and Brian, who you saw in the chat, our resident Sooner fan here on the HerbnRodg Podcast. He will be there as well. Then Friday night, I'm even more excited because we have our yearly show or quarterly show really with HerbnRodg, where we explain everything that's been going on up to the Rumble. So if you're a casual wrestling fan and you only watch every now and then, you want to know everything that's going on, come in, ask any questions. We'll have HerbnRodg there. They always ask some really great questions as well. Getting ready for the Royal Rumble on Saturday. It's coming on 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern. And after the Royal Rumble, we will have a post show for the Royal Rumble there. Don't know who all is going to be on there, really, is whoever's available. So, HerbnRodg, if you guys want to jump in and let us know what the Royal Rumble meant to you guys after watching it, you're more than welcome to come back on there as well. I'll also say that Friday night when you guys are on the show. But a huge week for the Running Wrestling Podcast and for wrestling fans in general as we get the Royal Rumble. It is that time of year again.
My favorite, I'm going to call it a pay-per-view because that's what it was when I used to watch them. Still my favorite pay-per-view. And doing those Wrestling for Dummy shows are still some of my favorite shows. So I'm looking forward to Friday night. Bama Beat, where can we find you? Has your blood pressure come down a little bit now that football season's over? Because I know basketball can be frustrating, but not as much. Or what you got going on, and where can people find you?
Yeah, sad to see football season end, but I honestly feel like I could use a little break. Good season, but certainly frustrating at times. So
for sure.
You can follow me at the Bama Beat on Twitter. Like you said, entering the second half of basketball season. A lot going on with Bama basketball right now. They just got a 5-star Caden Samuels today.
Yep.
Of course, the Charles Bediako situation, which I'm sure everybody will be following with great interest. Potentially ends up being a landmark court case and, college eligibility and some of the things they have going on. So just really looking forward to March, honestly, with this basketball team. So hopefully we can find a little bit more consistency.
I want to see us get reports from Bama Beat right outside of the Tuscaloosa courtroom when they start going back to these hearings today. That'd be great.
Be careful you say that. You're going to go inside the courtroom. He's going to be sitting at one of the tables. Like, Your Honor, I object. Like, whoa. When did this happen? So I just want to know.
Why is your hair so great?
Yeah, they're like, believe, hey, if you got great hair, they're going to believe you in the courtroom. So I just want to know, was Bediako just sitting back one day and he was like, man, I hate this G League team. I just want to go
stay in college.
I just want to go back to college. So, Rodg, did you look up the song?
I think what he was thinking is, I can make more money in college.
Probably so, yeah.
For sure.
You watch Van Wilder.
Yeah. After off, Rodg, I love college. The last line of that thing. So, do I really
got to re-listen to that one.
I just stay in college for the rest of my life. So, Rodg, you want to tell everybody where they can find you? Never mind. All right, HerbnRodg Podcast. Appreciate you, everybody. Saturday night, we will. So, as Mike said, on Friday night, we will be there Wrestling for Dummies at 8 o'clock. Saturday night, we will be back here between 8 and 8:30. And I think that is it. And then we'll have more videos. Love you, Rodg. Appreciate you. Randy, I think it's the more thing about, he actually went through the draft. And that's what I don't get, But the kid from Baylor kind of went through the same thing and nobody batted an eye. So it's really like, do I think Bediako should be playing? No. I mean, if you stay in the draft the way it's constructed right now, you're gone.
And I said the same thing. Yeah. You don't want to keep doing this. Like it shouldn't have happened. But even though we lost the Tennessee game, I was excited to see him back. But come on, like, this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah,
I agree. It shouldn't have happened. I think the argument is that the rules are unfair, not that Bediako isn't breaking the rules, because he's certainly breaking the rules. I mean, you forfeit your eligibility when you stay in the draft. But if the NCAA is going to let other pros play with really no control, then I think the argument is that, Bediako should be available. But it certainly opens up a huge can of worms that I'm not too excited about.
The real question is, does Brandon Miller have any eligibility left? And can we get him in?
He has played and he's under a contract.
I don't care. I don't.
From what I've understood, that was the main thing about the Bediako thing is he actually signed a 2-way contract with an NBA team, and the kid from Baylor actually never did.
Right.
So I think that's really the difference legally.
Yeah.
I think it was now. Cal, what's the old Mississippi State guy who does commentary right now? He had an interesting point. He said if you go to the draft and you don't get drafted, you should be able to go back to school. I was like, I think you gotta make a decision.
Yeah.
If you commit. The problem is it used to be if you committed to the draft, you signed with an agent. But now all the college kids already have agents, so it really doesn't matter. That part is gone. So now it's just, am I staying in or not staying in? So
I think part of the issue is, the EuroLeague is the second best league in the world, and the G League is below that. So Alabama's position is, again, fully acknowledging that Bediako forfeited his eligibility when he left. Why are players that played in the EuroLeague, which is a better league than the G League, allowed to play in college just because they started in the EuroLeagues rather than going to college and then G League and then back to college? So I think the crux of the argument is the rules are unfair, but it's a shit show anyways, honestly.
It is. So, all right, appreciate it. Alex, moderating how? Are we doing a debate? So you got to let us know. Plus, Alex, you're the only person we haven't, as the channel members that we haven't talked to outside of here. So I don't know if you said you're going to add us on Facebook or send us an email, or I don't know if you're on Twitter, but reach out to us so we can put something together for you as well. So appreciate it. And of course, Randy, we're arguing against it, so I have no idea. But is everybody in the XFL like people who just got drafted and didn't go? So I have no idea.
But it's interesting that we never batted an eye when somebody left like Major League Baseball and came back to college to be a quarterback. That's happened multiple times, and we never really batted an eye at that. And they actually played on Major League Baseball teams.
Yeah, I think once you switch sports, but again, I think a lot of this went away when it used to be if you had an agent, we could keep you away and we didn't have to worry about it. Now you have agents in college, and now I think they just have no idea to do what the rules. So I don't think they thought about that. So, Carol, love you, appreciate you. Have a good night. It's an interesting debate. I'm still on the side of if you stay in the draft, you shouldn't come back. But now, and I think this Bediako thing will maybe shut the door on that when they rule against him. But I don't know. It's I know that we're saying Najee didn't sign a contract, but he was out there playing in the G League too as well. So I don't know. I think they're gonna go back and forth for a while. Guys, appreciate it. Thank y'all very much.
You're welcome.
AKA Bray Hubbard. Appreciate you coming on. Mike, we'll check you out tomorrow and looking forward to Friday as well. Rodg, you want the final word? Since somebody cut you off earlier?
No, you're going to cut me off again, so I'm good.
Everybody have a good night and roll tide.
Roll tide.